Hello and welcome to the Go Fish Village podcast. I'm your host, founder Joshua Mercer, also a realtor with Premier Chicago Real Estate. Now, today I want to really get into some housing laws and some fair housing acts, I should say, and some important definitions that you can look out for if you ever feel like you're being discriminated against. And remember, if you are facing discriminated, if you do feel like you're facing discrimination, contact HUD, and you have to do so within a year. So most of us, we look at real estate as, this great investment. It's sexy. It's this thing you can touch. It's this thing that has all these amazing benefits. But as we know, everybody was not always afforded those benefits. So I want to talk about three different acts that are really prominent in real estate and really helped change how ownership and how other folks can benefit from real estate. So we'll start in 1866. So that's the Civil Rights Act of 1866, and basically what that says is that discrimination based on race is illegal. So following the Civil War, Congress, they passed a series of laws to implement the 13th Amendment, which bans slavery. One of these laws was the Civil Rights Act of 1866. So that banned the discrimination in the sale, transfer, lease, or use of property, including real estate and housing. All citizens were granted the same rights enjoyed by white citizens in the use, purchase, lease, or transfer of real estate. Fast forward to 1968. Now, this deals with residential real estate. So, this is the Civil Rights Act of 1968. They extended it further than race. And so, the year right now is 2020. So this is just 60 years ago, or approximately, that this law was changed. So, a lot of things, a lot of effects of these discriminatory practice can still be felt today, even though you may not have been directly affected, but chances are, if you're a person of color, a minority, a woman, you were affected, by a lot of this. So this prohibited the discrimination concerning the sale, rental, or financing of housing based on race, religion, national origin, and sex. Now, if that wasn't enough, we fast forward to 1988. Now, this dealt with handicapped individuals, or folks that have mental or physical impairment. So let's say if you required a wheelchair to get into a to get into a property. This is when buildings had to start being built to code, and to code meaning an elevator may be needed, a ramp might be needed, but it also extended to protect people with children under 18. Now, there are some exceptions, and I'll get into that. But so let's say if I'm a single parent and I have children, a lot of times buildings wouldn't allow folks with children to move in it, so that would be considered discriminatory. Now, there are certain exceptions. I know we can get into retirement homes and things of that nature. And if there's like a certain percentage, I believe, of people over the age of 55 or 60 or something like that, um, that building doesn't have to allow minors to live in it. But these are very important because if you feel like you're discriminated against, you definitely want to report this to HUD, and you have to do so within a year of that discrimination. So, three important terms to remember or to just be familiar with. One is blockbusting. So, blockbusting is when a person is licensed to sell real estate, when they go into a neighborhood and they intentionally scare the residents in that neighborhood into selling their property for lower than market value, because and they're doing so by telling that people from another race or religion, etc., are moving in. So it would be like, going into a predominantly, white area, and just, a realtor doing that and say, hey, man, see that black person who's across the street? All his cousins, uncles, aunties, they all gonna come too, and they're gonna lower your property value. You may want to sell it right now. So that's called block busting. Essentially, you busting up the block. Now, steering. Steering is another one. That's when a real estate agent influences a home buyer to only purchase in certain communities based on their race. So let's say if you're Asian and you're like, hey, um, I want to come to Chicago. I'm looking for something with a view of the lake, or I'm looking for something that's around a bunch of parks. Or I want to move to a suburb, just this on the south side of Chicago or something like that. But that agent only takes you to Chinatown. That's illegal because you're basically limiting the options of that individual who you should be representing. And one is very popular. Well, hopefully it's not popular anymore, but you may have heard this term before, but it's called redlining. And that, redlining is a practice of, intentionally denying or limiting financial services in specific neighborhoods just because they're all people of color. So when we're talking about financial services, this could be banking, this could be insurance services, but it's got its name because lenders intentionally drew a red line which represented boundaries in these neighborhoods and actually refused to do business there or do or go after this business, thus making it hard for people to live a high quality of life, thus making it even harder for people to reap all the benefits of appreciation, whether it was getting a home equity line of credit, whether it was refinancing your home, all these different things that real estate that people benefit from real estate. So again, if you feel like you're a victim of redlining, if you feel like you're a victim of blockbusting or steering or any of these acts that I've named, um, contact the HUD department. You only have a year from the date of that discrimination to go ahead and contact them. And if you have any questions or you want to join our movement here at Goldfish, which is to help people create financial freedom through real estate, please go to www.goldfishvillage.com. I'm Josh Mercer, founder of Goldfish Village, also a realtor with Premier Chicago Real Estate. Let's talk soon.